See, wherever I go, stay ready, stay alert, always prepared for whatever. I see you. There's a seat right here. I can see from all angles. I'm ready. It's time to get down to business. Game time.
Hi, honey. I know you just made it to the library, but love of my life, my hero, my lion, you forgot your A game. So come home, take it, and then you can go and conquer the world, black man. Oh, and one more thing. Would it kill you to just wear some socks? I'm just saying. Love you. And can you bring home some milk?
Oh, man. She be killing me. Okay, I'll go back. I'm gonna get my A game. I'm not putting them socks on. I'm good. I'm fly. I'm fresh. I'm gonna stop at 7-Eleven and get some milk.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So I usually have some type of video for you. I don't. It's just me and you today. And what inspired this is something that I said in another video of mine that I did a few days ago. I don't know in which one, so please forgive me. But I drew a distinction between expectations and standards. And I said that expectations come from entitlement and standards come from value. And I wanted to expand on that. And the reason why I wanted to expand on that is because when it comes to Black women and that, like, their dating expectations and things, we've seen enough examples where Black women are always talking about what their expectations are, and they get it confused with having high standards. Having a lot of expectations is considered to be high standards, and it's not the same thing at all. So I'm here to clear the air for all of the women listening, all of the young women listening. If you think having a 20-point bullet point list of expectations is somehow having a high standard, it's not. It's just a bunch of unrealistic expectations that's not about to be met. And we've seen enough of Kevin Samuel shows. We're seeing Kendra G shows. Any show that features Black women, especially, coming on talking about dating, talking about what they want a man to do or to have, and yada yada yada. We hear a lot of expectations. Some of them, very few of them, reasonable. Most of them are ridiculous. And when she's challenged on those expectations, the usual response is, well, you know what I'm saying? My standards, I got high standards, and you can't attack me for my standards. It's not standards. It's just expectations. And so now let me draw the difference, because when we talk about expectations versus standards, especially when it comes to the dating world and the dating scene and all that type of stuff, you'll hear a lot of women with a lot of expectations, and really hyenas have a lot of expectations, because expectations are born out of entitlement, a sense of entitlement. And you will hear a lot of these chicks say things like, I deserve a 6-figure man. I deserve a man that make $1 million a minute. I deserve a man that's going to be able to take me, you know what I'm saying, all over the world, traveling every year and all of these different things. I deserve. And I have a real problem with grown people talking about what they deserve. Okay? That is born out of a sense of entitlement. It doesn't require anything for to have an expectation. when something is expected, that the person that expects things, there's no requirement for that person. I'll give you an example. A child expects that their parents are going to love them and take care of them. That's an expectation. It doesn't require anything from the child other than to be a child in the parent's household. That alone qualifies the child to love and to be taken care of, to, make sure that the child have adequate living, adequate food, adequate clothing, not be abused, not be taken advantage of, not be done wrong, or any of those things. That's an expectation. Okay, because the child is entitled to that. They deserve, by virtue of being those parents' child, all of these things. They deserve it. Okay? It's an expectation. If you go and purchase a dog or a cat, the dog or the cat has an expectation of you, believe it or not. They expect to be taken care of. I mean, you're my human. So I want food. I want my litter box clean. I want to be walked. I want to be petted. I want to be played with. Animals have expectations. That's born of entitlement, because if you go and purchase or adopt an animal, then you are saying that you're going to meet that expectation, right? There's an expectation. Just like parents bringing children into the world, there's an expectation of what to do with that child in terms of taking care of the child. A standard requires something of you. The person who has the standard, actually, it requires you to have value and to bring value to the table. This is what we're saying, bring to the table. And this is why a lot of Black women have a problem with the very concept of bringing things to the table. Because when you have a standard, that includes consequences, accountability, and responsibility, and consequences for your action. So as a person with a proper value system and proper personal market value as a woman, I understand that there are consequences to my actions. I understand that I am accountable both to myself and to others, my family, the people that I represent, the groups that I represent, the representation of myself, all of these types of things. And I have a responsibility to uphold my value system. I have a responsibility to myself. I have a responsibility, right, in my community. I have a responsibility in my family. All of these things are coming from my value system. If you are a valuable woman, this is why men ask, well, what do you do? This is why Kevin Samuels used to ask, well, what makes you valuable enough to get the kind of man that you say you want? What are you doing to get that man? In other words, if it's a standard and not an expectation, then that means that there's work for you to have. There's a requirement that needs to be met. Because listen, I can give you plenty of examples. You can say, I deserve to be to have my application accepted at Harvard. Really? Not really, because there's a requirement, right, to be accepted into certain schools. The better the school, the better the reputation, and all of that type of stuff, the higher the requirement is going to be. You're not going to be able to come to the dean of that school and be like, I deserve to go here. No, you don't. Your GPA say you don't deserve it. The placement that you graduated out of high school say you don't deserve it. The scores you got on your SAT, your ACT, all of this type of stuff say you don't deserve anything, because we're not obligated to give you nothing. You didn't do the work. You didn't meet the requirement, okay, to enter into our school and benefit from the prestige of being here. Same thing with anything else. When you apply for a job, you don't deserve that job. Did you meet the requirement of that job? Are you smart enough? Do you have the proper degree? Do you have the proper training? Do you have the proper experience? What has been your previous field of work? What do you know about this type of work? You don't deserve to be promoted. Did you work for the promotion? Are you the best person for the job? All of these type of things. These are requirements because there's a standard, because there's a value attached to it. You understand what I'm saying? So you don't just deserve to do this and that. This is why we had an issue with participation trophies. You don't just get to show up and then you get the same amount of accolades and you get the same, that the person that did all of the work got. So everybody's not going to be the valedictorian at their graduation because everybody can't graduate number one. So if everybody gets to give a valedictorian speech and get valedictorian put on, they school records, then what was the point of the real valedictorian doing all that work and all that studying for? So you render it a moot point. To buy a house or even to rent an apartment in certain places, there's a requirement. Why? Because there's a standard of living that's being upheld. So if you want to live in an upscale place, an upscale neighborhood, an upscale apartment, there is a requirement. If you want to buy a home, there are requirements. What's your credit score? How long you been at that job? What do you make annually? What's been your last few paychecks? Like these people, whether you are renting from a real estate company or whether you're trying to buy a home from a bank, there is always going to be a requirement. Because these people see value in their property or what have you. If you getting into a place, the less requirement, the less value that place has. So if you renting out a little place and they don't care about the grounds and you're not going to get no good, it's going to be a slumlord and stuff like that, they might not have all the requirements. They might let you pass. We don't care what your credit score is. You going in there buying a little used, Dodge, whatever, 2015 Dodge, whatever. Okay, you don't have to have the best credit. You can come in here when your credit score start with a 4. Okay, we gonna work with you. We gonna charge you up the wazoo. Your APR gonna be ridiculous, but whatever. You'll be able to drive out of here. Now you're not gonna be able to go to the Lexus dealership with that same credit score because they're gonna look at you. That's not even the highest echelon of car. You're not going to be able to go to the Mercedes-Benz dealership with that bad credit and that bad income. That number ain't add, the math ain't mathing. They going to look at you like, I don't know what you want us to do. But if you think you driving out of here with one of these E-classes, you got another thing coming. A S-class, you got another thing coming. You can't ride out of here with that. Now, we do have a used car section. It won't be a Benz. I can guarantee you that. But we got a used car section. We might be able to do something with you. You need to go to Drive Time or something like that, where they work with you with your bad credit score. But we're not going to be able to do it. You can't come through because they put more value on that car. So therefore, there's a higher requirement. There's a standard there to be met. Anybody just can't come get anything. So Black women, if you have high standards, you have to be high value as a woman. See, we talk about the high value man, but nobody talk about the high value woman. You have to be a woman of high value in order to have a standard. See, women who have standards, any old dude can't come through. You can't come through. You ain't got no job. You ain't got no prospects. You don't got your life in order according to the 10 life values. Your spiritual value shot. Your health value shot. Your family value shot. You ain't got no mobility because you've been in prison the last 12 years. See, no. Because why? I bring more value as a woman. So therefore, there's a requirement to be with me. You're required to have your life together. Because I can't just accept any old thing. Because you can't come here in my life and turn me upside down. You're not going to turn my life topsy-turvy. You're not going to do that. Okay? You have to have some strong leadership. It's things to do. So remember that hyenas have unrealistic expectations because it comes from entitlement. Lionesses have standards because it comes from a value system. Okay? But we know who didn't have any standards or values. And that was Patrice Cullors and her cohorts, who were the leaders and the founders of Black Lives Matter organization, because they stole more than $90 million from the Black community. So we have a petition that is against that organization and there to hold them accountable. So the link to the petition is in the description box. So please go ahead and click that link, sign, share, and contribute. Also, sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.